Okay, my name is Sherika Salisbury, and I'm a teacher from Riverview K-8. The first thing I want to say about the book is my students loved it. We did the book on Fridays. So what I would do is on every Friday because we take tests on Friday, I would allow my students to take their test and then we would go into our book. If I tried to deviate from the book, my kids would be frustrated. Like they were always looking forward to reading their solo book. One thing I really took away from the book is that I was able to learn a little more about my students. Two of my students went through a similar situation, and in the beginning they did not want to read the book because they felt like that it would bring up different emotions and different feelings that they were feeling at the time. But as we read the book, so these two students actually asked to sit out in the beginning. But I think from their classmates telling them about the book, as we continue to read the book, they wanted to come back in. And what these two students learned alone is that you don't have to allow a situation to determine what type of life you live, the type of mood you're in. You can overcome different things. I really like the book even as a science teacher because it had the ELA standards moving into it. And so for me, like as a science teacher, doing the workbook, I was able to still hold on into, I was able to help my reading teacher with the standards because like it was strictly lined up to the ELA standards. And I know a lot of teachers may ask, like, how did you have time to do it? And in the beginning, I'm going to be honest, like when they presented it to us, as any other teacher would say, what time do we have? But once I went home and read the book that weekend, I was like, I have to read this to my kids. They're going to love it. And honestly, time didn't matter once we started to read the book because it wasn't even about time anymore because my students wanted to read the book. And so for me, that really did something for me. Also, a lot of my low performing students that I normally can't get to do a lot of writing and do a lot of reading, they were so engaged in the book that they started asking me to read the book. They started asking to read the book. They were always looking forward to the book. They always wanted to have discussions about the book. And it just created on Fridays, it's just like we kind of zoned out and we created our own little oasis about so what the kids really loved it. I loved it. I really think it should be in every school, especially middle school, because our children go through so much. And to see someone, especially our students, to see someone that looks like them succeed and overcome a challenge like that, I think our kids need to see that. We now have students in middle school that are going through similar situations and they don't talk about it and they don't know how to express themselves, but this book allowed them to do that. And like I said, I know some people may say I don't have time, but you would be surprised what only 20 minutes every Friday would do of reading that book. The book is awesome. Miss Summer is awesome. My kids loved it, and I suggest any and everybody to read this book.